Good morning. Welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Friday, the 30th of June. Okay, looking at the euro dollar first, and well, it saw yet another good up day yesterday. Now we're sitting along at the moment, and there seems to be, you can't really see it so much on the 4 hourly, but certainly on the hourly chart here. Some supply is sitting up around these highs at the moment. Now, I looked at all the books, and there are actually buy orders around up here, so there is a chance if, and from an order book perspective, there's not a lot of resistance. Obviously, there's other programmed sell points coming into their supply coming in at that sort of level. The interesting thing would be today whether, or the key thing today will be whether we can actually continue breaking up and run through yesterday's highs there, push up towards the R1. It's quite a tight day in terms of the pivots here. It's quite possible that we could run from R1 down to S1 if there's some profit taking. I wouldn't be surprised after a week like this we see some profit taking in some of these currencies that have run so well, and we could get some sort of retracement. Now we could come back to that monthly R1 there, daily S1 zone is some support would be around that area. There's a 50 MA below us. Haven't pulled back this 50 MA for some time, so there's a possibility of that. Still haven't touched the daily pivot, missed it a couple of days on the row. Again, there's a possibility of that to happen. Obviously, the trend-wise, well, we're still in that bullish trend, and the upside would be the easiest route. With the pivots being some pinch, we could see the R1, R2 being hit from this point of view. I did actually look out towards the weekly area and say, well, where's the resistance here? Well, we're probably sitting pretty close to it. You can see these prior highs. Okay, there was a spike up higher previously, but you can see when I put the cursor over this level here, there was quite a lot before around that 1466 sort of area. For some reason, 1466 seemed to be it previously. It's spiked through it a few times. It may spike through it again today, so it may actually break through it this time. But that seems to be like a reasonable line there. So we'll see if it can push up to that area. Now, 1466 is just around about where the R1 is, so it'll be interesting, as I said, to see how if it does push up this morning, whether it pushes into that, finds the resistance again, or whether it spikes on through. Managed to push through. As I said, order book wise, we've got buy orders for a small bunch of net buy orders sitting above there. Thereafter, it's minor sell orders, so it's not a significant concern above there. Okay, pound dollar. Pound, some respects, same sort of thing we've seen on a daily basis. We've been seeing day after day of buying here. Uh, it's slowing down in this route here. Again, we may see a bit of profit taken today. We have seen it roll over a little bit. Yesterday's range was tight again, and the pivots are pinched. We're pretty almost there towards the L1. Nice solid support off the 21 moving averages just below us there. Could easily push on upwards and find the R1 and even that weekly R3 area, which is sitting above there now on a Friday. That might just stall things a little bit if we run into that. But I mean, generally price is contained pretty well between those levels. We'll see how it comes out there. I was just looking at the order book. There's quite a lot of orders above the current 4 hourly R1. There's sell orders sort of stated. So there is certainly a net sell orders into that R3 area, which is not a major surprise really. If it starts pushing beyond that though, then we start getting back into the buy territory, net buy territory. But it may well follow the lead of the euro. Again, we've got untouched pivot below. At the moment, to me, these markets almost look like they want to push on further, but it may be later on in the day we get some profit taking coming through. But at the moment, it's still looking relatively bullish. Dollar yen. Dollar yen sort of been following this upside. It's been softening compared to most of the pairs. Did strengthen a little bit towards the end. Remember, this is inverted. It's the dollar yen. It's run into yesterday, run into the weekly R3 area there, and had its it spiked through it a little bit, but had its reaction back down towards the monthly pivot there and sitting around again, bouncing off here. The interesting thing this morning, we see if it can push on back upwards from here. Let's just look at the daily pivot just above us there, so there's a reasonable chance of that pushing up. Still on the bigger picture, I'm looking here and thinking, well, the yen could have some more upside. It's sort of breaking or pretty close to some different trend lines here, actually, drawn on the dailies. You can see we ran into one trend line yesterday. We've got another trend line to probably approach yet. So it still, to me, looks bullish on the bigger picture. But short term, we'll see how this sets out today. But the pivot's still there, waiting to be hit. Okay, Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar, funny old price action during the Asian session. It has spiked up there at the moment, pulling back. It's run into the, again, another weekly R3. It's run into these markets have really stretched out this week a little bit. The dollar's certainly weakened. From where we are here, well, this looks like it's selling back, maybe towards its daily pivot here, which is below. At the moment, it's sitting on these 21s. If it does consolidate here and start pushing back up, well, maybe another test that weekly R3 pivot. Otherwise, if it rolls, well, obviously a daily pivot's near-term target, but may get, again, a bit more profit taking. And finally, the Canadian dollar. Looking through here, well, it's certainly well, running into the previous low sort of region here at the moment. Looking from a weekly perspective, it's really broken from this range it's been sitting in quite strongly this week. It's a much more solid week here. Just shows you how weak the dollar is, bearing in mind oil's not really responded particularly well. But we are at the moment heading down towards the monthly S3 there. Now, again, yesterday we broke through the weekly S3, and it's, as I say, looking weak. Look at the way the RSI is around the lows here and just holding on as we're selling off here. Does look like a weak signal. Now, again, any profit taken off this, well, we've got daily pivot above us. With it breaking from where it is, it does look like it could just carry on selling downwards here at the moment. But any rallies, the daily pivots certainly would be a target, maybe back to that 60-minute 50. Okay, that's pretty much it from me. News-wise today, let me just open my news file there. There we go. We got some news at 9:30. We've got the current account data for the UK and final GDP. Not biggish movers, but you never know in these markets at the moment. They may just give us a bit more of a bit more volatility. So that's at 9:30. Final GDP generally doesn't move from the previous reading, so it's an unusual one, but we'll see. That's at 9:30. 10 o'clock, we've got the European CPI flash estimate. We saw the German CPI yesterday. That often gives us a bit of a guider. That was starting to rise a little bit, and there's an expectation of 1.2% coming out at 10 o'clock. So we see, and the core figure at 1. So if that starts picking up a little bit, we may get some volatility and a bit of an upshift in the euro. Beyond that, Canadian dollar, we've got the GDP data, which is a monthly figure, comes out at 130. Not particularly interested in that, because if it's regular frequency, it has less effect or impact on the markets. Aside of that, personal spend in US and the core PCE price index at 130 may get a bit of volatility from that data. That's pretty much it. 3:30, the Bank of Canada Business Outlook survey. That may create a bit of volatility for the Canadian dollar at 3:30, but nothing massively significant today. Have a great one. Bye for now.